Hey math kids, today we're going to talk about the area between a curve and the y-axis. So it just says find the area between the curve. So we're going to get f of x equals x minus 1 and the y-axis between y equals 1 and y equals 2. Okay, so there's a part B as well, but let's just focus on this. So what we're going to do is first find the inverse of this. So we square both sides, and then just add 1. And so x is equal to y squared plus 1, which is the inverse of f of x. Okay, now to find the area, we're going to go from 1 to 2, because those are what we're given. And then we use our inverse that we found, and we find the definite integral with respect to y. And when we do that, we raise and do 1/3, and that's y from 2 to 1. Alright, if we plug in a 2 here, we get 1/3 2 cubed plus 2. Then we plug in a 1. Okay, so that's going to be 8. So that's 8/3 plus 2. And then this one's going to just be 1, so it's going to be 1/3 plus 1. Okay, so we need common denominators, so the 2 is going to be 6/3, and the 1's going to be 3/3. So 6 plus 8 is going to give us 14, and then minus 4, so it's going to be 10/3. Okay, the next one f of x is given as this, and we're doing it between the y-axis, and then y equals 3 and y equals 10. Okay, so this is going to be very similar. We just find the inverse to this. So subtract 2, divide by -1, and then cube root both sides. And so that's our inverse function. And so we're going to go from 3 to 10. I'm going to write it as 1/3. Then we take the antiderivative of that, so that's 4/3. 2 minus y. Divide by the new one, and then we also divide by the derivative of the inside, which is -1. So that's what we end up getting. We're going to go from 3 to 10 on that one. And so we get -3/4, 2 minus 10 to the 4/3, minus -3/4, 2 minus 3 to the 4/3. And it just comes down to simplifying now. Alright, so that's -8. So I think it's easier to deal with if we do it this way. So it's it's the 3rd root of -8 to the 4th. So -8 to the 4th is going to be a positive value, so I'm just going to get rid of the negative. And this is just 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. It's a 3rd root, so we take those 3 8s, and then this can be 2, 2, 2. So it goes away completely. So it's just 8 times 2 times negative 3/4. And that's what all of this goes to. Okay, now dealing with this, that's negative 1. Negative 1 to the 4th under a cube root, that's really just 1. And then the cube root of 1 is just 1 as well. So we have negative 3/4 times 1. Okay, if we just multiply this, we're going to get 24 times 2, so we end up with 48 over 4. I'm going to keep it like that because it's going to be beneficial over here. And then that's negative 3/4. So these negatives combine to make a positive. And then that's going to be negative 45 fourths. And one other thing we needed that I kind of forgot to do at the beginning. Now that's the answer we get. And what that's telling us is that we have an area that's on the negative x side of the function. So it's going to look like this. And so really what I should have done is notice that beforehand, and then this entire time just had like a negative 1 out here, which would cancel this, because our area is going to be right here from 3 to 10. Wait, was it 3 to 10? I forgot already. What were our limits on this one? Yeah, 3 to 10. And so really the answer is just going to be the positive version of that, so it's just 45 fourths.